Zack, Dakota, Randall inside the Indiana Convention Center in Indianapolis, day one of the NFL Scouting Combine. This morning, heard from a handful of coaches, handful of general managers, no Patriots employees. They typically do not speak publicly at the Combine, but we're able to get some bits of Patriots news. And I would say probably the most newsworthy of those was that Matt Patricia still may potentially land a job on the Denver Broncos coaching staff. He interviewed for the Broncos defensive coordinator job, did not get that job, but according to Sean Payton, really impressed him in that role and is still considering hiring him for maybe a different defensive position on that staff.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I think once we heard that the Broncos were going to hire somebody else for the defensive coordinator position, we kind of assumed that the Patricia Broncos storyline was done, and then we'd kind of gone back to wondering, is there a spot for him with the Patriots? But Payton sure made it sound today like that's definitely a realistic possibility. We don't know what kind of job Patricia could have with Denver. Ian Rappaport floated something like a senior defensive assistant or associate head coach, which would be interesting, but we don't know. But yeah, that was definitely, I think, the most noteworthy Patriots-related angle today, that Matt Patricia might have a job in some capacity with the Broncos next season.
Also a lot of praise from coaches and general managers for a few of the new additions to the Patriots staff. Josh McDaniels, Nick Caserio both had a lot of good things to say about Bill O'Brien, the Patriots' new offensive coordinator, who both of them obviously worked with in New England years ago. Also, Adrian Clem came over, worked for the Pittsburgh Steelers for a couple of years. Omar Khan, Pittsburgh's GM, really said he loved working with Clem, had a great experience with him there as a coach and as a person. And a returning member of the Patriots staff, DeMarcus Covington, interviewed for 2 defensive coordinator jobs this offseason, seems to be staying in New England. A lot of good things to say about him from around the league.
Yeah, and this time last year, the Patriots were kind of shrouded in mystery when it came to their coaching staff. People didn't know what they were going to do. I think maybe it was right around the time we started to get word that maybe Patricia and Joe Judge could be involved in those areas. And just, a lot of concern, a lot of mystery, and kind of a 180 this year, it seems, where not really any bad things to be said about the Patriots, at least not yet. You mentioned all the things that were said about DeMarcus Covington. I think Cardinals' new head coach, I forget his name.
Jonathan Gannon,
I always want to say Rich Gannon, but it's not Rich Gannon. It's Jonathan Gannon. I think he said that about DeMarcus Covington, that he's right there. He'll be a defensive coordinator next year, which is quite a statement from him. That would definitely be interesting. And then with Adrian Clem too, I thought those were some noteworthy words from Omar Khan. Kind of an unknown for us. The Steelers, you've kind of heard conflicting things out of there, whether or not that he was a good fit there. He went to go to Oregon. Oregon running game this year did a really good job. So I think Adrian Clem, a lot of people are saying good things about him too, but just overall, the fact that there's just not a lot of negative buzz surrounding the Patriots this time around, which is refreshing to a certain extent.
Certainly much less chaos and a lot more stability, it seems like, even though there are some new additions to this Patriots staff and one like Clem, who doesn't have a ton of NFL position coach experience. It just seems like a lot of the pieces they have in place are pretty well respected around the NFL. Obviously, the main event of this week is the prospect showcases, the prospect workouts, and we will begin to hear from those prospects starting tomorrow. On Wednesday, we'll hear from linebackers, hear from defensive linemen. I wouldn't say Patriots have dire needs at either of those spots, but those are certainly positions that they've loved to target over the years. A handful of players in that group that they worked with at the East-West Shrine Bowl. So will certainly be interesting to hear what they have to say about that experience with the Patriots and the overall pre-draft process. And stay tuned for our Wednesday recap after we hear from all of them.